are about to witness bodily dismemberment, sub-zero temperatures, and all-out mayhem. Brought to you by the Frontline Network.
Sup, CH fans, and welcome to episode 15 of Frontline Fatalities Season 3, brought to you by the Frontline Network, presented by me, FatalSaint, and my guest co-host, IpKaiFung. How's it going, IpKai?
Hello everyone, how are you all doing? Sitting in for this cast today, so I hope you all enjoy it.
Yeah, sitting in once again for Tommy, as he's very busy in real life and stuff like that. But we have actually just recorded yesterday. This cast is being pre-recorded as usual, as I do some editing magic with it afterwards. So there'll be there's actually a cast with Tommy before this one. So yeah, he's back. He's feeling better right now because he was sick for a while. But yeah, IpKai is sitting in once again for Tommy as a guest co-host with me, FatalSaint, and we got a game on Longritskaya Winter between Stephenn and Seraniah, and Stephenn will be taking on the Axis while Seraniah plays for the Soviets. And we're at the 5-second mark. You ready to go, IpKai?
Yep, good to go.
On pause in 3, 2, 1, unpause. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Stephenn open up with the normal tier 1 building for the Germans. No additional pioneer built either. The real only player I've seen build, the additional pioneer is really Barton.
Yeah, he's the only one. I think he sends his first pilot to camp and then he builds with his second one.
Yeah.
Helps gain some map control, I guess.
It's a bit different because the Pios are generally, looked at as fairly, combat effective wise at least, very weak.
They're okay. They're not bad in buildings. They're good up close as well. If you can, flank a squad while they're engaged. So if there's a concept squad and they're firing at a grenadier squad and you can flank in some Pios, they're okay for that. But on their own, they're not very good. Against combat engineers, it's a bit of a dice roll as well. So.
Yeah, the SMGs were changed, a couple of patches back. So before it was basically like hands down, always the combat engineer would always win against the Pios. But now it's fairly 50-50.
Yeah, it is. It just depends, the cover, any hits, that goes in, things like that.
Obviously, if you can get close enough to the combat engineers, if you go around a corner, for example, of a house or a hedge or whatever, so the combat engineers doesn't get those extra few pot shots at long range before you get in range with your SMGs, then you can have I guess you can win an engagement with the Pios quite easily as well. If you just get in real close instantly and obviously equal cover.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. They do well, if you get good positioning with them.
Quite a lot of capping going on, no engagement so far. Combat engineer from Seraniah over on the left-hand side might be running into this Pio squad, but it seems like he might be going for the center, maybe, perhaps, or maybe go harass this munitions points outside of the German base. Grenadiers exchange some bullets with the combat engineers as they're passing through. It seems like he's going for the center. At the same time, the 2 additional tier 0 units from Seraniah is the 2 conscripts, and they're both on the right-hand side. So it looks like Stephenn will be focusing on the left-hand side, while the Soviet player will be focusing on the right.
Yeah, I think the Soviet player will probably go quite conservative at the start. He's just going to try and cap some territory, hold on to it. This map is not a very good map for flanking because of all the heavy snow.
It's hard.
A good MG placed somewhere. It'll be really hard to flank because of all the heavy snow. So what you want to do is try and hold on to what you got until you can get something that'll help you flank MGs easier, or breakthrough unit like a T-70 or something like that.
Yeah, one of the main reasons I've asked Stephenn, actually, I asked him, do you have any replays? I feel like casting one of your games, because you usually do quite a lot of unusual stuff. And he's gone 2 Grens, which are now pushing for the Soviet cutoff, and Sniper as the 3rd tier 1 unit out. What do you think about that, IpKai? Sniper, it's fairly early, You can get a Sniper, I think, as long as your opponent, the Soviets, doesn't go tier 1, your Sniper can have rain. but at the same time, getting it as a third unit, you know, he managed to polish off an entire conscript squad at the cutoff right now, which was fairly lucky. It was retreating, but he got a nice headshot on the retreating left man, the last man on the conscript squad. But you kind of find yourself, you know, there's 4 conscripts on the field. There should have been, you know, 3 conscripts and a flamer and a combat engineer, and he only had the Gren and the sniper then. And the sniper was just hitting the field.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's very fortunate to actually get a squad kill there. So that'll set Seraniah behind a little bit. So he's rebuilding the conscript squad now.
And he's building tier 2 as well.
Yeah, building tier 2. So I'm guessing that, you know, he's going to do tier 2, tier 3. I'm not sure if he'll build anything from tier 2 yet. He'll probably assess the situation.
Maybe just use it as a stopgap to keep ticking.
Yeah, so then he'll probably just build it and then go on to tier 3 and not build, you know, not spend any manpower, any units from there yet. But it's always tier 2 synergizes really well with tier 3 because tier 3 doesn't have the strongest anti-vehicle abilities. Whereas, you know, tier 2 with the AT gun is great backup for tier 3. Whereas, you know, you've got the T-34s, they're very good flanking vehicles. They do very good against infantry, and they do very well against German tanks when they're on the flanks, but not so good up front. So you need the AT guns as well for an additional anti-vehicle support.
Yeah, obviously one T-34 versus something like the German Panzer IV, for example, you can't just win just straight up in a, you know, a head-on-head engagement. So throwing tier 2 in there, which gives you the AT guns, can tip that tide.
Yeah, he has opted to build something though. He's built a Maxim, so I think he's going to try and do his best now to hold on to what he's got. Although he is making some movement to the left now. So I think he's going to try and hold up the German advance now, and then try and steal some of the territory on the left.
Yeah, he sent one conscript squad and his combat engineer over onto the left-hand side, capping here, and Stephenn sent basically all of his forces over to the center right-hand side. Both of his Grens, the sniper is there as well, and the MG is hanging around somewhere. Where did his MG go? Oh, it's hiding around in the center.
Yeah, it's actually going into the top house now on the right-hand side.
Oh,
very good cover from the sniper, because the sniper, as known, it's about 40% accuracy against buildings. So you're not going to get anything out of a building too quickly now.
Yeah, you know, barely 1 out of 2 shots will go in the crew, and you know, on a 6-man crew, it's going to take forever to dislodge it from a building with a sniper. So, snipers not as potent against buildings as they were in Company of Heroes 1, where, you know, snipers would always basically hit something in a building.
And you can see the heavy snow in action now. Look, it's taking him ages to try and flank this machine gun to get through the heavy snow, and now he's just packed up and walking away now.
He's just running away from the second conscript in the center, which was actually suppressed first, but it got unsuppressed, and the MG setting up on a negative cover road. Not very good for Stephenn, as the 4-man conscript squad recovers from the suppression state as well, and that forces an instant retreat from that MG. And right now, the only 2 units on the field for Stephenn on the right-hand side are these 2 Grens, but they are going to only be fighting these 2 conscripts and the Maxim, and the Maxim is still on the move, but I'm not exactly sure. Oh yeah, it's dicey.
Yeah, no, the Gren, he's retreating. There's no he might lose a model, might lose a squad, so get out of there while he can. But he has lost his fuel on the right now, and he's not connected up to the fuel on the right, and he's lost the fuel on the left. So resource-wise, I'll just have to check. He's got a good amount of fuel, so he could get to tier 3 even now as well.
Yeah, and just wait a little longer. But obviously, losing this right-hand side fuel now to the Maxim, at the same time losing the left-hand side fuel, leaves him with no high fuel, only a few strategic points on the map right now. He did actually get a flamethrower upgrade on his Pioneer squad and are now placing the S-mine field. I don't think I've basically ever seen anyone use the minefield in a replay so far that I have casted.
Yeah, I've only seen them used in 4v4s when I've played them with friends.
Yeah.
But I never really see them in 1v1s. I usually see the telemines. But I think he's only planted 1 quadrant actually, so he's put the 1 sector down, then cancelled the build.
Yeah.
So then he only gets the one quadrant. So that's only cost him 20 munis, although he needed 80 initially to put it down. So
yeah, and I think he did that as well. He felt that he had a spare 20 munitions. He had the munitions required to start the field, cancel it after that, and get this medic bunker, which is going up in his base now, so he can get some healing on his grens. And he actually really needs that. One of the Grenadier squad that have 4 men is down to basically 50% health. So getting that medic bunker up right fast now in the game at the 8.5 minute mark is a pretty good idea, I think.
yeah,
He's very infantry heavy as well.
Yeah, he is. I haven't seen any vehicles yet from him, like the tier 2 vehicles, like scout car. I suppose really he hasn't seen any need for it, and he's gone tier 2, so he's probably thinking maybe he's got an AT gun out now as well. So I wouldn't risk using vehicles.
Yeah, the scout car basically gets taken out by 1 AT gun shot if it's unvetted.
Yes, exactly. Even Vet 1 as well, because Vet 1 doesn't actually provide any.
Oh yeah, it only gives you the
bonuses.
unit ability.
Yeah.
So we have a Panzer Grenadier squad out from Stephenn from tier 2, and he's building a pack now as well. But that's it so far, and he added on another Grenadier to his tier 1 build. So he's got 3 Grens, an MG, a Sniper from tier 1 so far. He's got the P-Gren and building a pack, and he's got his Flamer on the Pio, which makes it into, half a combat unit almost.
Yeah, no, he's got a decent comp, but I think maybe he's trying to save vehicles, so maybe Ostwinds, P4s, probably P4. Generally, good unit to go for really when you hit tier 3, because it's it's the all-rounder unit. It's not bad at AI, not bad at AT, but it doesn't excel in those areas.
No, it's a good all-round unit.
Yeah, so
you can basically never go wrong with it.
No, as your first build, you can never go wrong with it. And then if they build more vehicles, you can get a Stug. Stugs are actually quite good if they haven't gone Su-85s, for example.
Yeah, and we do see tier 3 up for the Soviets, but at the same time, AT guns, Stugs can't really effectively surplus strafe something like a stationary weapon like the AT gun, for example. It's just not plausible. So getting a P4 is just better, really.
Yeah, and Seraniah has just started building a T-34 now, so that's going to be his breakthrough unit now. They'll help him gain more map, control on the game. Really, I mean, his map control's been okay. It's not been too bad for most of the game. He's had his high fuel for a lot of it, and he's had a high ammo.
Bit of back and forth in the territory war so far.
Yeah, exactly.
But that T-34 will obviously meet that tier 2 pack out from Stephenn already. He went the safe way, getting a pack even before even seeing a single vehicle. But I guess he just figured that there's going to be a vehicle soon. Tier 3, tier 4 doesn't really matter, but there's going to be something soon. So
yeah,
he played the safe play and got the pack.
Yeah, always a safe bet to get a anti-tank gun out. They'll always be of some use later on. The trick to them is, getting them at a point when not too early, so they have no use, but to get them at the right time, obviously.
Yeah, and he's going to be happy to have that pack right now as the T-34 rolls onto the field. He's going to attempt to get a Faust off. Nice penetrating hit on the front armor of the T-34. The Faust and the 18-8s had their penetration change from, what was it, like 1,000 to 100 to 150, something, something at that range. So it's not 100% anymore, but the T-34 armor is quite weak, so generally you'll get a penetration on the frontal armor.
Yeah, but more often than not you will get a penetrating shot.
Yeah, it's more things like IS-2s and IS-Us and KV-8s where you don't get the penetrating hits. Oh, yes, building goes down, killing an entire Gren from Stephenn, so he's down to 2 now.
Yeah, and I hate that about buildings as well. You can shoot them hundreds of times, nothing happens. You get that one lucky shot and it goes down and you lose the entire squad. Can be quite aggravating.
Yeah, I believe that Grenadier squad was down to 1 or 2 men actually before the building going down, as he was getting shot up by all of those conscripts outside the Soviet cutoff. But Stephenn now pushing and putting on some enormous pressure on the Soviet player, which is basically backed into his base, trying to repair that T-34 while getting sniped. So he retreated his combat engineer squad as well and backed his T-34 back into his base with the AT gun guarding as well, in case Stephenn would have quick-teched somewhat to tier 3 and had a P4 and just charged it into the base right now. So yeah, he's just basically licking his wounds now, waiting for all of his units to heal up, T-34 to get his engine back, and then he's got to make something work here. He's got to make something happen.
Yeah, I mean he's got a good comp to help him break out, but when he repairs the vehicle, we'll see how well he can utilize these units now to try and make some headway.
Tier 3 up for Stephenn, and he did shoot a Doctrine just a couple of minutes ago. Blitzkrieg Doctrine with Panzer Tactician, Reconnaissance Flight, and he's got the tactical, the sprint on the infantry, tactical movement, the stubby P4, and the Stuka Close Air Support, the JU-87, which have been changed also in some recent patches. Both the Soviet and the German strafes, so to speak, have been tweaked a bit because they were fairly underpowered before, underwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, what they changed to them now is that the plane acquires targets.
Yeah.
So it before what happened was you'd click on a spot, and where the red smoke dropped, that's where the plane would shoot its abilities off at. But now instead, the planes will acquire a target in the area. So sometimes it's actually quite a good idea, actually, to drop the smoke on your men, and then the guy might not be so reliant to move then, and then his men might get shot up. So it's something to bear in mind with how those planes work, the IL-2 and the JU-87. But Stephenn's using the recon plane. I know he's a big fan of recon planes. I'm a big fan of them as well. Had many discussions about using them. They're really effective if you use them about 1 second before the blizzard comes in, and then you'll have that nice area of sight.
Wow, look at that Shrek upgrade on the Pathfinders. Just as that P4 gets there, he gets fasted by one of the Gren squads. Sniper opens up on the conscript squad. That's going to be forced retreated down at 2 men. Can't actually afford sticking around. And here comes a Stug now out from Stephenn, going to be taken on this T-34.
Yeah, good choice. You have to support it well because, you know, it doesn't have a turret. If it gets flanked, it's in serious trouble. You have to be really careful with AT guns as well. It doesn't have a lot of health. I think it's got about 480, I think, is the health. So, you know, so that would be 3 shots, I believe, from an AT gun would kill it outright. So you have to be really, really careful with them because of the low health.
It's going straight for this, the repairing T-34. The AT gun is in the distance, however, gets a nice shot off on it, and Stug takes a huge beating very fast, down to 40% health, forced to back off, can't get the killing shot on that T-34. And the sniper opens up on the tank for some reason, I'm not exactly sure. Misclick. Gotta be misclick.
Yeah, or we put on auto attack. For some reason, snipers are willing to shoot at vehicles.
Yeah, why not? You know.
No.
It's not like Vico though. You can't kill the tanks with the sniper like you could potentially kill the jeep and the bike with a sniper. Very rarely, but it's possible.
Yeah, it's a weird way how the snipers are calculated. I think it's counted as like it kills the model or something, but it doesn't actually deal damage. It's I'm not 100% on the calculation on how the sniper mechanics work in this version of the game, but.
Nice harassment play from the conscripts at the bottom VP. And there's a munitions cache, an OP, outside of Stephenn's base. So obviously he favors munitions right now. He's had quite a big fuel bank due to owning both of the high fuels and basically the entire map for a while before the Soviet player broke up on the left-hand side. So yeah, he doesn't really need the fuel. But munitions, however, he's got plenty of abilities to use. The recon, the Panzer Tactician, the tactical movement, and the strafe as well.
Yeah, so I'm guessing that's why he probably built a munis cache. He said, "Oh, I've got these 3 abilities now that need munis, so I'm going to need munis later on."
Fairly odd retreat from that conscript squad. You know, there's a Pigran squad, but with 2 Shreks, the 2 remaining MP44s against a Vet 2, you know, with PPSH upgraded conscript squad, he could have stood his ground, I think.
Yeah, he could have had them. The Vet 2...
At least stall.
Yeah, the Vet 2 gives them an accuracy bonus, I believe, and so they're a lot more effective in combat. So he should have had a go, really, or stay there a little bit longer.
Yeah, at least stall the Pigrans. Don't just give away the VP just freely for, you know, a shreked up Pigran squad. Especially if you manage to kill a model or 2 on the Panzer Grenadier squad, it's going to be forced to retreat as it has no more anti-infantry. The MP44s are the first models to basically always die, as the Panzer Shrek just gets passed on to the next member. So at the same time, you know, it's 45 manpower to reinforce every single guy in a Panzer Grenadier squad. It's quite a lot of manpower.
Yeah, it is. It's well worth giving it a go. They didn't have as potent AI, so you could have caused some economical damage. Seraniah has also got a 120mm mortar out now, So that thing's, it's basically an
PPSHs
artillery
as
piece.
well? What doctrine is this?
Oh, this is the Soviet Storm Doctrine. It's called. So it has shock troops, 120mm mortar, the conscript assault package, the ML-20 howitzer, and the IL-2 Sturmovik attack. So it's an extremely potent anti-infantry doctrine, as you can guess from all these.
Pretty
abilities.
good against Stephenn, I'd say, because he was very heavy on the infantry. He still is. He's got 3 grenadiers again. He rebuilt the one that he lost. He's got the P-Grand squad with the Shreks. He's got the sniper, the flamer Pio, the MG and the pack as well. The only vehicles he has are these 2 Stugs, and Soviet player Seraniah has the AT gun to counter these.
Yeah, and it's extremely potent anti-infantry, so he has to be really careful. And he's built his other T-34s out now, so he's got 2 T-34s, 3 scripts with PPSHs, 2 combat engineers, a Maxim and a 120mm mortar, and an AT gun. So he's got quite a good unit comp. This Stug, he has to be really careful. Well, 2 Stugs, he has to be really careful with the AT guns, because like you saw earlier, that one AT gun shot took it down to 14% health.
Yeah, it does a tremendous amount of damage to the Stugs. Their HP pool is quite low. Their armor is fairly decent, but at the same time against the Soviets' AT gun, it's not good enough. So you gotta be careful against the AT gun. It's fairly hard to, you basically can't circle strafe an AT gun with a Stug. As long as your opponent is awake at the keyboard at its computer, you won't circle strafe an AT gun with a Stug.
No, you won't at all.
You can run past it, but that's basically it.
Yeah. Exactly. Although they're not bad at flanking Su-85s now, since the Su-85 got the acceleration decrease, so it's less mobile.
Oh yeah.
If you can get the Su-85 facing one direction and you can get your Stug in the other angle, then it's not too bad at firing at the side. So
might be an 18-8 on the Stug in the center. Here we go. Oh, no penetrating hit, does a bit of damage, however. The AT gun needs to move up at the same time. Country squad and a combat engineer with a sweeper on the left-hand side meets up with a Vet 2 Grenadier squad garrisoning the building. Pack gets decrewed and stolen, but he sacrificed an entire country squad for this.
Yeah, well, the last 2 guys, I think, that were left got hit by the Stug.
Yeah.
For some reason, when I've come up against Stugs, they're not too bad at killing infantry occasionally.
I just saw that. He
Yeah,
sniped him on retreat.
They were really they're the super RNG infantry killer tanks I found at the moment now.
It's kind of like the Su-85 before as well, I think, or maybe still also. It's just that you see the Su-85s more rarely now. That this tier 2, tier 3 combo seems very popular nowadays with Soviet players.
Yeah, it gives you a bit more aggression, really. And the other reason I think that it's more popular is because the scout car is a lot better now. The German one, at least. And the scout car does a nice engine critical off that first shot. But yeah, the German scout car does very well against Russian tier 1. So that's part of the reason why I think that more people are using tier 2, tier 3 instead.
Yeah, it is very, very popular right now compared to how it used to be before. But I guess, obviously played to the strengths of your playstyle and, the current balance, obviously, as well. So Su-85s were extremely popular before. We do have a command tank called on as a replacement to that dead Stug. Command tank can actually penetrate, the rare armor, for example, on T-34s, for example. So it's not a terrible idea. At the same time, very good against countering the Soviet conscripts, the infantry whatsoever.
Yeah, not bad buy. The buff, I can't remember what the buff is now, unfortunately, but it does give
defense.
I think it does. I think maybe some offensive bonuses as well.
Military units in the same own sector as the command tank will receive defensive modifiers. So yeah, it's defense.
Yeah, but although, as you know, with a lot of things, hull down actually gives more offensive bonuses than defensive bonuses. So, unfortunately, I don't know what they are off the top of my head. But yeah, it does give a bonus if you're in the same sector. It works like the British captain. Yeah. As long as the units are in the same sector, then they get the bonus.
Yeah, exactly. You can see it on the minimap as well. It highlights the sector the tank is currently in. So, nice harassment capping on the left-hand side continuously from the Soviet player. He just keeps going over there, harassing, getting the bottom VP, stopping the drain. Soviet player down to 269 VPs compared to Stephenn's 404. So he's still got all the time in the world to make stuff happen here. So even after losing that one Stug, because in that engagement, he didn't really kill anything. Both of the T-34s lived. Even the AT gun got vet 2 and lived, didn't get decrewed. I saw a use of conscript merge to actually keep the crew alive on the AT gun while the sniper was basically just shooting away at it. So very nicely played from the Soviet player. They're keeping his veterancy alive on his AT gun.
Yeah, no, it was a good job. Conscript merge is a bit cumbersome to use, but I think it's a very powerful ability for weapon teams and
yeah, AT guns especially
AT
super
guns,
powerful. Yeah. Very few people use it though.
Yeah, it's because it's quite cumbersome to use, because what happens is when you merge with the squad, then your selector brings up both the units, because say you want to retreat that constant squad immediately, you can't queue it up, and then you can't immediately press retreat, because if it's an AT gun you reinforce, it'll bring up the reverse button. Sorry, if you use grid keys.
Yeah.
It brings up the reverse key, and then you end up retreat, and then it's all confusing. So it's a little bit cumbersome to use, but I think when they fix it, at the moment it's a really powerful ability. But because of that cumbersomeness, if that's a word, it's not used as often as it should be, really.
Yeah, I think it could be used more often. It's just as you say, it's a bit difficult to use, so people... and I think also, obviously, as usual, a lot of people just forget it basically as 6. In the heat of battle, you don't have time to use no stupid conscript merge. You're busy doing other stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So,
the Stug took a huge beating for that Vet 2 AT gun, which gets an increase in weapon damage from Vet 2. And it went from basically 90% health to down to what we just saw it. And it gets taken out by these two T-34. New pack out from Stephenn, moving on outside of his space, trying to take out the T-34, which was extremely damaged due to that Stug that just went down. But he managed to dodge the pack shot as well. Lucky T-34.
Very lucky. I mean, he should have finished it off with a Stug, to be honest. Because I think he tried to hit the other T-34 instead, because he used the Vet 1 ability, the tank stun, which is an incredibly powerful ability. I think it only costs 13. Yeah, that one. It stuns the tank, so basically you can't move or fire for a duration. I can't remember what the time period is. I'm quite bad not remembering numbers.
Yeah,
but
a couple of seconds, yeah.
Yeah, but then the tank can't move. So it's a really powerful ability. You get a Vet 1 for the Stug. It makes it an even better tank hunter.
Not exactly sure what Stephenn can do now. He has that new pack, or maybe he recruited one in the center and went back to the base and got it healed up. That might have actually been what happened there. But he does have the pack in his possession again, and he's got the Shrek on the Panzer Grenadiers, but with 3 T-34s on the field, especially, the Shreks are really good against one tank, one T-34, one T-70 maybe, backed up just as mobile AT, but when there's just massive amounts of Soviet armor, the Panzer Grenadiers just get shot down so quickly, so you just gotta retreat, so the Panzer Shreks don't really have time to do any proper damage. You get one burst off, one salvo, and that's basically a retreat after that. So he needs something more, and he's going to be building himself something from his Tier 4 building. If you could guess it, a Panther is hitting the field soon.
It might help against the T-34s, although it's less likely that they'll get damage from a ram from the front. It's still risky being outnumbered 3-1 by that, Panther. So it's a risky choice, really.
Well, with the unit combination he has right now, then he'll have the pack, the Shreks, even the command tank can lay in some hurt on the T-34s, and it could very effectively decrew the AT gun, which would be the biggest threat to that Panther, actually. Apart from, obviously getting rammed on the rare armor and getting his main gun destruction. But, combined with this Panther as well now, he's gonna have sufficient AT against these T-34s.
Yeah, it should be okay. But so very risky as well. I'm not sure if it was worth going to Tier 4. I think maybe if he got the Panzerwerfer instead, the artillery piece, it might have helped him out a little bit to help get rid of the AT gun, as I'll then harass some of these infantry too, because it's quite good at killing men because of the way it fires. All the shells land at once on it, so it's I think that might have helped him a little bit more.
This Panther can't get to the left-hand side of the map any faster. This poor command tank is getting chased down by the entire Soviet army, or at least the tank army. Two T-34s came to defend the third one, which got a damage engine and is now getting repaired in the backfields. So the Panther needs to lay in some hurt on these T-34s real quick here, and here he comes.
Yep. I think that's the Stuka coming in now.
Yeah.
Ju-87. So it does some very good damage against vehicles, and as you can see, it's selected. It's it's choosing which targets to hit now. So I'm not sure how many times it fires on the pass. I think it's 3 times it fires.
Yeah, it does some loitering right now, just flying around. You can see it on the minimap for a little while.
Yeah.
Here we go, this repairing T-34 is getting attacked by the command tank and the Panther as well. The 2 other T-34 backed off. He doesn't want to be in this area due to that Stuka flying around on the field. And this T-34 is surely going to be taken out by this Panther.
Yeah, I shouldn't have any trouble now. 1-1-1. Not much health. Gone. So, Sturmovik, IL-2 is on.
IL-2 at the Pigrens, and this command tank as well. Oh.
Yeah, just shredded up those Grens.
Yeah, got real good and shredded. Pack is stolen by a conscript squad. He might get a shot off on this command tank. Uses Panther to tactician. Oh, still gets shot, however. Here comes the Panther reversing into battle, because that's how he rolls. Swag for life. And that command tank gets taken out by the stolen pack. Getting killed by your own weaponry. What do you think about that, IpKai?
Horrible feeling.
The worst, right?
Yeah, but the AT gun doesn't live that long to rejoice in its victory.
Did a Stuka just shoot it down, or was it the Panther
coaxial?
Oh, the sniper killed it. Yeah, the sniper's running into the field now.
But yeah, they didn't live long enough to tell the tale about killing the command tank. Poor conscripts.
Yeah, very good trade, I have to say. Oh, wow.
Ooh, an IL-2, just
that,
one shot.
That MG, yeah. Now you see it, now you don't, kind of happened there. Not exactly sure. That was very powerful. So both of the planes have finally left Longreskaya for now, and Stephenn got himself an Ostwind. So that could actually potentially shoot down the Sturmovik and could easily counter the conscripts, but at the same time, fairly squishy. Can penetrate the armor of a T-34, for example, but it's not extremely viable. And with 2 AT guns now out for the Soviet player, and an M5, you don't see that every day.
No, like I was about to say, yeah, Stephenn's got the AA, but also Seraniah also got AA as well, so he must think there's going to be a lot more planes.
Is he upgrading it to the quad?
Yeah, he's getting the quad mount. It's halfway built now.
Okay.
But yeah, he's going for anti-aircraft too as well.
And
good choice,
you know, and anti-infantry as well, just like the Ostwind basically. They're just a bit different.
Yeah, it's just a good choice though, because you know, the Ju-87 can do a lot of damage, and the IL-2 can do a tremendous amount of damage to your infantry as well. So
yeah,
good
we
idea
saw that on the MG in the center. It just got shredded by one burst.
Yeah, it is you know, quite an incredible ability. It is 240 munitions, but it does exceedingly well against infantry.
Ooh. Yeah, you used again from Steve. I'm not exactly sure where that smoke was placed. I'm guessing on this pack, but I'm not 100% sure.
It looked like it was on the middle VP, but I'm not sure why he called it in.
Don't really see where. Here comes the quad trying to shoot down this plane. It's going to the crash into the pack. Takes it out. Takes out a few conscripts as well. And that quad got badly damaged. Here comes the Ostwind trying to finish it off. He's reversing away. The smoke of the fire is actually blocking the line of sight for Stephenn a little bit, but this quad might be taken out by this Panther. Where are the AT guns? Opening up on the Panther. Panther is forced to retreat. And here comes the IL-2, and that Ostwind might be able to shoot that plane down, but it does not.
No, so Ju-87 crashes into the own pack.
Stolen pack.
Blows
it up, combined with a few conscripts as well. Come on, Ostwind, it's your turn now. Crash the plane. He doesn't know what he wants to shoot at.
I think the gunner's got a bit of the frostbite today.
I'm not exactly sure. Well, obviously with the top open tank on the eastern front. Bad idea. Yeah. Who designed that?
I don't know. Probably the same guy who designed, what was it, the Land Cruiser, whoever it was called?
Oh yeah, that one.
Rat, that thing.
Insane.
Yeah.
Oh, guess what? Shot off on the plane. Second one, but it's not enough to take down the IL-2. It's gonna keep circling the field. Might be taking it out. I just see the shadow on the on the ground.
Yeah. I think, yeah, and...
Oh, there we go! Oh, crashes outside of the German base.
But yeah, Seranah's got another AT gun out now as well, so he knows that I'm going to need these AT guns with these Panthers. Good bet. Yeah, you have the T-34s trying to flank around. So he's got two T-34s, the quad, 3 AT guns, 2 conscripts,
wow.
2 combat engineers, a Maxim, which is freezing, and a 120mm mortar. I'm surprised the Maxim is still going, to be fair. The guys are still...
They got in green cover, so I guess it stopped it just as they were freezing to death, maybe?
But yeah, they still got the freezing icon, so they should actually be dying.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Maybe you just stopped at the same second or something.
Possibly.
New Panther Grenadier squad out from Stephenn. He's got a few Vet squads. Vet 2 Panzer Schrecked up Panther Grenadier, 2 Vet 2 Grenadiers, a Vet 2 Sniper, which is still alive actually now with 40 kills on his German sniper. Whoever said you can't use snipers against tier 2? Brilliant.
He's done a good job to keep that alive, that sniper.
They're fairly squishy.
Yeah, exceedingly squishy sometimes. But no, he's done a really good job, and Seraniah's opted to call in some shock troopers. So instead of rebuilding a conscript squad, I think he's going for the beefier infantry, which are the shock troops. Really hard to kill, do really good damage.
Good against the Grenadiers, especially when they don't pack an LMG, for example. They can really mince up those Grens real fast, and they can't really do that much damage against the superior armor of the shock troops. So Stephenn is trying to make a move for the middle VP, stopping the drain, trying to stop the drain at least. He's down to 317, while the Soviet player is approximately 100 below him.
Yeah. That's about it. So he's doing well, pushing forward. He's flanked with the Grenadiers at the top. 180 gun goes down. And
Very
the 120 mil is also in danger as well. So that Vet 280 gun just lost it. Very big loss, to be honest.
Oh, he stole it. He stole the Soviet AT gun. Might be looking to use the barrage on it, for example, against this Soviet stronghold with the AT guns and the Maxim and the infantry in the center. Not a bad idea. Soviet player is trying to stop him, though, I think. At least trying to stop this decap of his cutoff, which is cutting off all of his resources, apart from one lousy strategic point on the left-hand side of his base. He's got nothing right now.
Yeah, so he's lost a lot of... he's losing a lot of resource income now. Lost an AT gun. That's going to help. That's not going to help him because this Panther will do very well against the 2 T-34s.
The only real threat is obviously getting rammed, and you're getting rammed on the frontal armor. You're usually fairly good. Rare armor. Anything can happen, but it's not that easy to get a T-34 behind very mobile Panther. Obviously, during a blizzard, with the decrease in line of sight due to the blizzard, getting on a nice flank, that's possible.
It might be possible, yeah. But as well as that, because what they did as well, they increased the minimum range for ramming.
Yeah.
So it can be very, very difficult to actually get a ram off because you have to be a certain distance away from the vehicle to ram it.
Ostwind got tag teamed by the 2 remaining T-34s. 1 Vet 2, 1 Vet 1 remains now for the Soviet player Seraniah. Shock troops very, very lucky to get away while that Axis sniper were firing away at him at 1 man on retreat. Could have potentially lost that entire squad. But his German sniper is doing very good, 47 kills, and when you start popping away at the shock troops, it gets very expensive for your opponent. How's his manpower looking?
His manpower, he's at 230, but he's getting 173 a minute is his income. He's got a lot of fuel. He's got 350 fuel. So he could get another vehicle out, but I think he's opting to save up manpower to reinforce men, maybe buy more anti-infantry, I think, to deal with the Panzer Grens and the Grens.
Yeah, it's fairly expensive to reinforce those shock troops as well, and he's going to need to do that because he needs something superior against these Vet 3 Grenadiers now. Even without the LMG 42 on the Grenadiers, they're very, very potent at Vet 3. Vet 2 as well.
Yeah, they just take a lot longer to kill. I do like that Stephenn is keeping a Grenadier with his Panzer Grens, because if you just have Panzer Grens on their own, what you can do with a T-34 is just run them over, and they're very good at running men over.
Yeah.
So it's a good idea of him to that's a really good idea to keep the grenadiers there so they can Faust the T-34 to help protect the Grens, the Panzer Grens. Sorry. So Blizzard's just ended. Now he's got free reign with his IL-2, which he's just called in.
Yeah, I see it again. But the Ostwind has actually been taken out, so there's no anti-infantry from Stephenn's side. So this IL-2 will have a lot of fun firing down on the German infantry and vehicles. Very strong push, nice push for the Soviet player. Very, slow and methodical, just pushing into the center with his support weapons, Maxim and AT guns, with the very mobile force, his tank armada of 2 T-34s vetted now.
Yeah, now here comes a Panther. I think did he activate Blitzkrieg a bit earlier then?
Not exactly sure if he used it or not. I didn't really see the icon. He is adding on... What is he building right now? Oh, it's a Panzerwerfer, of course.
Ah, right. So yeah, bit of indirect fire should help him out a bit with these AT guns.
Yeah, I think against the Maxim in the center and the AT guns, they're fairly close to each other. A few select missiles, a few rockets, it'll do him heaps of good. And
I think there was one Gren squad got annihilated then in the middle by the IL-2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm looking at the stolen AT gun shooting at one of the Soviet AT guns with the barrage ability. Oh, might get lucky, kills another guy, down to 4 men. AT gun is trying to relocate. Oh, that misses though.
Yeah,
wow.
And then one normal shot actually killed a guy on the crew.
Kills another guy. Here comes the Panzerwerfer barrage. I think it's going to go down on this AT gun again. But it is on the move. Oh, he moved right into the barrage though.
Yeah, it's quite good. It does have like a wide spread of rockets, but they all go down at the same time, not like the Katyusha. Because the Katyusha just sort of like fires salvos, like 3 or 4, I think.
Yeah.
Before any, not all at the same time. It sort of like fires one, then another. Whereas the German one's just all at once. So it has quite a nice splash. And
yeah, it's hard to dodge it. You can't dodge one rocket at a time when everything lands at the same time.
Yeah, it's a lot trickier. So making push in the mid.
This Maxim, Vet 3 Maxim from Seraniah, he's kept that alive for a long time.
Yeah, I know, he's done really well with it. Usually what happens with Maxims when I use them is that the German player's rifle needs them and then they're retreating. Yeah.
Oh, I believe this is aimed at the remaining AT gun, or one of the 2 remaining AT guns. It's all around the Maxim actually. So the Maxim heard the firing of the Panzerwerfer in the fog of war and actually relocated and then retreated instantly. There's a use of Blitzkrieg and Panther tactician of this Panther to try and get away from these AT guns in the center. Gets a nice shot off on that quad. That nice bundle on an AT gun, doesn't manage to decrew it, does quite a lot of damage to it though. T-34, Vet 3 now. Where is the Panther? Where is the Panther? There he is.
Right.
There he is.
Oh, and you got the M5.
Oh, so no anti-air left for the Soviet player. New Ostwind out on the field from Stephenn. T-34 is pushing forward for the Soviet army into the German base, trying to take out this newly built poor Ostwind from Stephenn. Stolen AT gun, trying to face them. Panzer tactician used. Ostwind might actually be able to live.
Yeah, I think you might be getting with it. The AT gun might be able to get that other T-34. No, he didn't get it.
No.
But he did some good damage against the Ostwinds. The Panther's on about a 3rd health now. So, he has to repair them really. And that repair time means he's got, less time to... He's got less armor support on the field then.
T-70 on the field right now.
Yeah, I was just about to say he built a T-70. It's a bit of an interesting choice. Maybe he's using it to kill the harassing infantry, perhaps?
Perhaps, yeah. It's plausible. But it is squishy, especially when there's, Panthers and Ostwinds on the field already. Very late game, 40-minute T-70. Has this replay already been rolling for 40 minutes? It's very entertaining so far, I have to say.
Yeah, no, it hasn't seemed that long. But yeah, T-70, it's not too bad against the Ostwind. It doesn't die immediately. It's not like the M8 versus the Ostwinds. But it sort of dies slowly.
Yeah.
But against the Panther, probably...
I think it dies in one shot to the Panther, or it gets a critical at least from from the Panther, I think. It does
I
a
think
load of
so.
damage.
I think it's a critical, maybe.
Panzerwerfer works too. 2 rockets hit the T-70, does 25% health or so.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Yeah, and that AT gun has to back off a bit there as well. Lost a lot of crew members. And Stephenn going for the crush on the shock troopers with his Panther.
They got no AT to defend themselves with, so always go for the crush on the shock troops. It's completely safe to do so. It's not like the guard squad or a conscript squad which can AT nade you, or you get buttoned by a guard squad in a very bad position trying to crush. But against a shock troop squad, no problem, just crush away.
Yes, unless they've got a stolen Shrek, then
of course.
Well, you can still probably crush them. You can still crush them.
Probably. You can just push the Shrek guy around, no problem.
Yeah.
So quite a lot of veterancy for both sides. We got the Vet 3 Panzer Grenadier Squad, Vet 2 Grenadier, and the Vet 1 Panther. The stolen AT gun is Vet 1 as well, and a Pyro Squad. But he's actually lost some of his Vet and Grenadier squads right now. So I think Stephenn is kind of hurting, not only on the territory war, especially not as he's actually cut off from the left-hand side. He needs to cap that. He should probably cap that with the repairing Pyros on the Panther, which sorely needs some repairing.
Yeah, he has to repair that up. And as I said earlier, he hasn't got much arm support. Now this Vet 3 T-34 versus the Ostwind, he has to be careful. He's probably going to lose it now.
Huge damage to that Ostwind with the Vet 3 T-34. Oh, did he just bounce or did it miss? Here comes the Panther with Blitzkrieg used from Stephenn. Nicely played, saving his Ostwind barely. T-70 moves in. Not exactly sure what you're going to do, little tank. You might get run over by the Panther. You should probably stay away. That Vet 3 T-34 just won't die, however. It gets a damaged engine.
Yeah, the Conscripts managed to get the 18-8 off. I think this Panther will be okay, though. I think just. I don't think he's going to... Yeah,
Vet 2 might be saving him now.
Nah, he's not going to risk going in because there's an AT gun.
Stolen AT gun as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that T-70 is one lucky little tank. Managed to dodge the Panther and the stolen AT gun shot as well.
Incredibly lucky, I'm surprised. It's about halfway to Vet 1 though as well, so...
dealing some damage to the tanks and taking some damage as well.
Yeah. It's like the way the veterancy works is like 75% is of the damage you deal and then 25% veterancy from the damage you take or something. Yeah, it's something like that.
It used to be 50-50 way back, like early retail, or maybe it was even open beta, I can't remember, but they changed it to 75-25, which I think is much better.
Yeah, I think it's better too. Interestingly of note though is that the T-34, the Vet 3 one, it has 1 vehicle kill and 19 infantry kills. And the Vet 2 one has 5 infantry kills and it's destroyed 1 building.
Well, that must have been dishing out a lot of vehicle damage then, because obviously compared to Company of Heroes 1, you don't only get the experience from the killing blow anymore. You get it from the damage as well.
Yeah, the damage you deal as well, which I think is a good change because, you know, when you had the Vet Grens and you had no Vet Riflemen against Vet Grens, it was horrible, and you know it was uphill fight all the way.
Yeah.
You needed to just kill 1 guy. I mean, it's actually easier killing Knights Crossholders with Bar Riflemen instead. A little bit easier.
Yeah, and they gave out a tremendous amount of XP as well. Me and Tommy called, not KCH generally, but at least the vetted stormtroopers, we basically nicknamed them veterancy pinatas, because if you kill the guy, you just get flooded in XP.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, the stormtroopers were good vet. KCH were great vet as well.
Yeah.
Especially stormtroopers with just all Panzer Shreks.
So,
Bar Riflemen.
Unvetted Gren against Vet 3 PPSH equipped conscript squad. Rifle Nate gonna tip the tide of that battle very fast. It's gonna be a Molotov attempt, but he's going to retreat before that. There is a shock trooper squad, however, a shock troop that just capped the left-hand side fuel, now going for the munitions, going into the center to try and stop this VP cap from Stephenn with his Shrek up P-Grens in the center. Might be a shock troop grenade here, that could be juicy.
It could be, but he could throw it in a nice spot and nothing dies.
Yeah.
It happens so often with these
or
grenades.
cause an instant retreat, and he actually naded himself, I think.
Yeah, which happens quite often.
Comes the Panther Crush. Yeah, compared to Company of Heroes 1, you can't grenade your own squad anymore. Before you could. You take no damage. You could grenade your other squad and they take damage, but not the same squad that threw the grenade itself. But that is no longer in Company of Heroes 2.
Yeah, I know, a bit aggravating at times, but you learn to adapt with it. You just press stop before you throw the nade.
Some people don't. They have a move command and they throw the grenade, and the guy that throws the grenade stops, but the rest doesn't.
Yeah.
Here comes these two T-34s right now, but they ran right into the Ostwind, the Panther, and the stolen AT gun. Manages to decrew that. The Panther is taking a beating from these AT guns. He is using the artillery barrage on his AT gun, and the Panzerwerfer rockets land all around the AT gun. Doesn't decrew it. Does a little bit of damage to these two vehicles. The T-34 is out. And there's a new quad actually as well. And a T-70. Quite heavy vehicular armies fighting against each other in this battle. Blitzkrieg used on the Panther. There's nothing in the vicinity to stop them. The AT guns are not facing the correct way. The conscript squads are nowhere to be seen on the right-hand side. At the same time, in the center, a conscript squad did manage to get an AT nade off on the Ostwind, and the Panther on the far right-hand side is going in for a flank, combined with this newly built Panzer from Stephenn. Double Panthers. Heavy investment.
He's managed to get onto the AT guns. He's killed the M5 now with the Panthers.
Ostwind.
But the T-34s have managed to kill the Ostwind, and now they've just killed the Rocket Werfer. Now I think he's going to go for the Crush.
Oh, not a bad idea. They all get in the bunker. These Shreks are a bit dangerous. One of the Panthers are going back to the German base to try and defend it. At the same time, the second Panther is going there as well. He does have the munitions to use Blitzkrieg on his vetted Panther, for example. He gets a Faust off on one of the Vet 3 T-34, so that might actually be in trouble right now. But they're doing quite a lot of damage to this Panther. Oh, second Faust goes off. He has trapped these two T-34s now behind enemy lines. And they are surely going to be taken out by these two Panthers now. At least the one. One of the Panthers are backing away from that engagement right now. Unvetted, took quite a lot of damage from the T-34s. At the same time, T-70 on the far left-hand side over there, he can't really help in this engagement. The AT guns are moving up for the Soviet player, but I'm not exactly sure if it's going to be too little, too late.
Yeah, I also noticed that the Panzergrenzer that got put in the bunker got killed, and he lost that squad as well.
I didn't see that. Oh, that's hysterical.
So unfortunately, his Panzergrenzer are dead. They're done so. They didn't even drop the Panzer Shreks. So
terrible.
yeah.
See if he gets this T-34 main gun destruction. There we go. Panther earns himself some more XP halfway to tier Vet 3. Nice. Rifle nade, I believe, on one of the AT guns. They cruise that, but at the same time there are overwhelming amounts of infantry coming in. Vetted conscript, Vet 3 PPSH equipped, and a shock troop squad backed up by an AT gun and a one-man Maxim squad right now.
Yep, the hero Maxim. See, he just sets up now, tries to cap that point. He's pushing his trolley of machine gun death towards the German infantry.
Trolley of machine guns. At the same time, LMG equipped Grenadier gets behind the remaining AT gun from the Soviets. Without that, he doesn't have any proper AT whatsoever. T-70 is no match for Panthers. Not going to be enough, so he needs to keep this AT gun alive, but he's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place right now. Not exactly sure what he can do here in this situation. He's going to try to force off the flanking Grens with the LMG with his shock troops and the T-70 before it gets decrewed, and that prompts a retreat from Stephenn. At the same time, he is moving on to the front line with two infantry squads of his own. Oh, it's risky.
It is, but he managed to just eke that two-man AT gun squad away with a sliver of health.
Still alive. Magically still alive.
Magically still alive. I mean, he could get that a conscript squad up there now just to reinforce it. I think, yeah, he's got 1 nearby, so he should just do that. Merge with that AT gun.
Yeah, Stephenn did lose quite a lot of units in that massive tank battle. He didn't lose his two Panthers, but he did lose the Ostwind, the Panzerwerfer. He did manage to kill the two T-34s, but he did lose the Panzer Grenadier squad, obviously, and one of the Pio squads, and a Grenadier squad as well. So he's down to 3 Grens, 1 Pio, and the 2 Panthers now. And he's building himself... What is he building? He's done a... Oh yeah, it's a broom bar.
A broom bar. That broom bar's got to do a lot of work.
I'm not exactly sure if it's going to be too late, because he's down to 60 VPs, and he's going to be triple capped if these Vet 3 Grens get chased off by the shock troops. But it seems they have changed their minds. Going for the German base instead. Not a good idea considering it is covered by bunkers.
Yeah, and the machine gun pins them. I don't know why he's trying to charge in there.
I think that 120 mortar just annihilated one Grand Squad at least, and the second Grand Squad is killed as well. So Stephenn now down to 2 Panthers, 1 Vet 3 Grand trying to hold on to this VP on the left hand side of the map. Here comes the Sturmpanzer on the field, but with 46 VPs remaining, I'm not sure if it's going to be enough for Stephenn. The Sturmpanzer needs to like one hit every single squad on the field instantly, or it's over.
Yeah, pretty much. And he's up against his 2 AT guns. He's got no, just a 1 AT gun. And there's another 2 rolling up now.
A sneaky Russian player using the artillery barrage on his AT gun to barrage the retreating infantry in Stephenn's base. Running for his life, 1-man squad getting out. Oh, T-70 snipes the Pio squad trying to go for the VP. 31 VPs remains for Stephenn. What happened, IpKai? It looked so good.
I think that one engagement where the T-34s got into the base and killed a lot of infantry, and towards the end just tipped it.
Doesn't really have anything to cap with.
No,
big problem.
It just tipped it, and the Panthers, they were so knackered after that engagement as well. They had like damaged engines, sliver of health. They were just so messed up that they couldn't really do much. So I think that one engagement was just, it didn't go in his favor, and he lost the game because of that, really.
Yeah, triple capped, 5 VPs remains, 2 more ticks, and he's out of the game, and there's no capping infantry left on the field apart from a Vet 3 Grand in his base, and he gets drained out to 0 VPs. Very well played by the Soviet player. He kept his cool, I have to say, because it looked fairly dicey. A couple times in the game, he didn't really have any map territories whatsoever.
Yeah, I know. He was... So, like, for the start of the game, just holding on to high fuel to the right side a lot, doing a little bit of pushing on the left, but mostly waiting for the T-34s to come out. But
yeah,
it did look,
they did
he
good.
Did look quite pressed. They did do a lot of work, and he looked really pressed for a lot of the game until he got the T-34s out. Then he was able to turn the tides a bit, and then managed to take a... I wouldn't say he took all of the map. I mean, he just managed to take about half, and then do some pressing on the German side, but for a lot of the game it was very balanced, I thought, map control wise, until that engagement with the 2 Panthers and the 2 T-34s and the AT guns towards the end, where just the Panthers got so damaged, and the Soviet player was able to take out the Ostwind and the Panzerwerfer and a lot of infantry as well, after the Panthers were off position, should we say. So yeah, I think it was quite even up until that point, really.
Yeah, very nice tank engagement between Stephenn and Seraniah. Very well played by both players. Very entertaining replay. I can't believe it was 55 minutes of pure basic combat. Very, very good. Very nicely played. Thanks for joining me, IpKai, once again. And thanks, guys, for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that juicy subscribe button. I'm bleeding subscribers every day. It's horrendous. Don't leave a comment of what you think about IpKai's casting, for example, in the comments. I know you'd love to hear something about that. And don't forget to like the video as well.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, see you guys.